I became an entrepreneur when I was an undergrad student at Western Kentucky University. My best friend from high school was into music. I was not. I didn't have a musical bone in my body, but I did know how to sell. Actually, he got me my first sales job at Foot Locker, and even as a part-timer, I was breaking regional sales records. At the same time, I also became a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. We wore suits to class once a week to set an example for the student body, letting them know that we were leaders, student leaders. So fast forward, when my friend came to me ready to put out his first musical project, he gave me a book on the music business and said, put the suit on, put on the suit, take your sales ability to the music stores and get it in there. I learned how to draft the contracts, and that's exactly what I did. I got the music in the stores. Week after week, the CDs sold out, and within 6 months, they were signed to Atlantic Records. At that point, I was operating as the chief operating officer of the production company, handling some of the marketing. I also helped them to open for artists like the Hot Boys and Twister and got them played on the radio. They went on to become multi-platinum selling, Grammy-nominated group Roots. Check them out. They still make music and tour today. Now, my role was very small in the grand scheme of things, but that experience taught me something very early on. Distribution, leverage, and systems matter. After that, I stayed in sales. I went into pharmaceutical sales for 3 years, and after that, I launched my first independent business and financial services, where I owned and operated my own Allstate agency, and I held my Series 6 and 63 securities license. At the same time, my mother and I created a real estate investment company for commercial and residential properties. Life was good until it wasn't, until the Great Recession. See, most of my business came from mortgage brokers. And when the market tightened, referrals dried up because mortgage lenders were going out of business. And then when the recession hit, tenants left, cash flow collapsed, and eventually I had to sell the insurance agency and I had to bankrupt the real estate investment company. So fast forward, I innovated again using technology. Believe it or not, I created the world's first universal scheduling app for barbers called Got You In. To test the concept first, though, I entered the business plan into a global entrepreneur week competition, and we ended up being one of the top 50 finalists around the world. Then we were accepted into the Nashville Entrepreneur Center Accelerator, where we launched the platform in 2 months. And within that first weekend of us launching, we had barbers in 21 states registered on the platform. We scaled it to 46 states and 7 countries, but funding was tough. I didn't understand money the way that I needed to, and I didn't have access to capital networks the way that I needed to. Where some were raising $300,000 and $400,000 in friends and family rounds, I raised $15,000. So I spun out from that startup and launched another with a different partner. He held his PhD in biomedical engineering and had written multiple patents for Vanderbilt University. He wrote our patent. It was technology for a location-based marketing platform that operated in real time for travel and hospitality. Again, hard and inconsistent. Some years we raised hundreds of thousands, and other years, nothing at all. And eventually we ran out of money. In 2017, a Silicon Valley group wanted to license the technology. Our attorneys at Baker Donaldson vetted them, and they were legit. I personally signed a license deal for $10 million. And at the 11th hour, they filed bankruptcy to protect themselves after someone on our side tried to cut a deal behind our backs. At that time, I had been living on credit cards for 6 months because I knew I was a millionaire. I thought all of my financial problems were over, but they weren't. I found another investor that committed $1.3 million. He came to Nashville, shook my hand, but again, at the last minute, he pulled out. I was devastated. I couldn't see a path forward. On February 1st, 2018 is the day that I contemplated taking my own life. I had a gun next to me in the bed, and I wrote letters to my friends and family. But when I got to my baby brother's letter, I realized I couldn't do it. That same day, I called a counselor and began therapy promptly, but my financial problems didn't disappear. I drove Uber and Lyft for almost a year, and eventually I raised more money for the startup. But by the time we were ready to launch again, the pandemic hit. This was a travel and hospitality technology. Everything shut down. Investors lost money. They weren't writing more checks. I was burned out, exhausted, overwhelmed. And even when money came in again, I knew that technology wasn't something that I was passionate about anymore. That's when I came across the concept of building your own bank. And I knew that I needed to take control of my financial future, so I looked at it from a consumer point of view. And when I spoke to someone about it, I realized that this strategy wasn't available to me when I owned my agency in the early 2000s. But I realized it was available now. And I thought, I used to do this. I can do this. I got licensed immediately, because I knew that I could help others avoid the financial heartaches that I experienced, especially business owners facing liquidity gaps, capital raises, and retirement plans that constantly are being pushed on the back burner because you put everybody else first. These strategies could have solved all of these issues had I known about the strategies that I know today. And that's why I'm in this business, is to help people with these practical, proven strategies that have been around for decades so that they don't have to go through the same struggles that I did. My name is J.M. Eberhart. I'm the financial strategist for the masses, and you can also call me Mr. 7702. If you want to learn how to reduce financial stress, create liquidity, and build legacy wealth, not temporary solutions, I invite you to join me for this webinar. The link is right here.